Moving day is hard because you have to pack all your stuff and take it to a new place and then make a whole new bed.
You gotta find what bed you want and then see who's sleeping beside you and see who all's in your cabin that you might not have known before. And then I'm excited about my new lodge. We got Duker, so it's really nice. It's air conditioned this year, so if it's hot, then everyone else has to suffer the heat.
You gotta pick out where you want to stay and who you're gonna get along with, which hopefully is everybody. And you just want to be with your friends, and it's a lot of excitement. You want to go do stuff, and it's a good time.
I love camp here because there's so many different things for the kids to do. I just kind of have been walking around the camp each day and talking to students and watching them have so much fun, doing everything from a giant swing to jumping around in the lake to basketball to all kinds of games all over the place, everything imaginable. But the cool thing is what's happening is the kids are experiencing this, and then to watch them fellowship with the leaders that love them, to watch them fellowship with a staff that cares for them, and just kind of to see that Christ is in the community that all of them are experiencing every day is really an awesome thing to watch.
We just ran into a giant mud pit, enjoyed ourselves, and had a mud fight. We did army crawl. We tried see who could get the most moniest wheelbarrow. After we go in the lake and take a bath with the fishes.
I love coming back here. I love being in this place. This is a really, really special place, and there's students that come from all over the state, all over the place to kind of just take a few moments and just stop and reflect and learn what God's doing in their lives. The reason I love camp is because it allows kids to just back away from their normal routine. It allows them to step back from the normal things that they're doing and just get into new rhythms and kind of discover new rhythms of spending time with the Lord, of diving into spiritual disciplines, of worship and of prayer and of fellowship. And it's been really amazing this week to watch them kind of dive into those new rhythms and see how just this small amount, just 1 week of time, begins to transform their lives and change them.
Well, being here last week really made me jump out of my faith, so I decided to come back to see if I could help other people find what I found last week.
My favorite part about worship is being able to do it with a group of people and all of us together, knowing that we're here for the same reason, no matter what separates us. We all have that common link.
I think it's the atmosphere, and this is a really holy place, and I just think that people feel moved just to worship on their own.
I've felt God's presence right next to me, and He is a fire inside a heart during worship. I see so many people just get on their knees and just give their life to Jesus, and it's a great thing.
So this week we really focused in on what it means to grow. I mean, what it means to bear fruit, what it means to be planted, what it means to be a seed, and what it means for us to become the young men and women that God has called us to. And the cool thing about this week has been watching the students kind of walk from point A to point B to point C, and watching them experience what God has for them all along the way. And so watching them on the first night when just tons of kids just came forward and just were prayed for. and to watch their leaders love them and pray for them, and watch them on the second night as they're actually making promises to God, and they're really stepping in to what God's called them to, and watching kids make first-time commitments to Christ, and then just going back to the idea that all of this is about being so rooted in the Father that we know Him, that we know His will for our lives, and that we want to give up everything to follow Him.
But one moment that really sticks out to me was commitment night, and we were counting the kids that went up to pray with the counselors that had accepted Christ for the first time, and I lost count at like 27, and they just kept going up, and that was just like the coolest feeling ever, getting back to there and like getting to see other campers coming to accept Christ for the first time and being able to be there and welcome them into God's family for the first time. It's just an awesome feeling.
We have our own little like private youth group after we have worship in the evening, and a lot of people gave their life to Christ this week, so it's amazing.
We've really grown close together this week. People are opening up and sharing stories, and it's good to know that when we go back home we're going to have a lot of people to lean back on and talk to when we get back home.
I want to show that other people that, you know, there's a God that loves us, and we have no idea how much. I just feel like, you know, it could be our chance, our job to show other people how God works in our lives.
Christians are disciples who tell others about Jesus, who then like that idea and that concept, and they ask Christ into their heart, and those people continue to tell other people about Jesus, and that is what true discipleship is. We can't sit on our faith, we have to share it, we have to tell somebody about it.
I know for me, when I was younger, camp was really where I solidified my relationship with the Lord, and I hope that's the same thing for campers here.
I really hope that our students walk away with a renewed passion and a renewed excitement about living out their faith every single day. I think a lot of our students love to talk about doing great things. They like to talk about doing courageous things. They like to talk about following God. But 1 Corinthians 4 says the kingdom of God is not about talk, but it's about power. And to watch these kids begin to walk in power, to watch them step out and become courageous, to watch them sacrifice and give more of themselves to follow God. That's why we do this, and that's why this is so exciting. It's not just what happens here this week, it's what happens when they go home. And that's when neighborhoods are changed, that's when communities are changed, that's when schools are changed, that's when families are changed, and students' lives are really transformed by the gospel.